Maybe that'll help. All right, good afternoon. How's everyone doing today? Happy Wednesday. We're a mighty small group today. Most of our agents are at the South Bay Association of Realtors for that ChatGPT class. So this is why we have very low attendance. Okay, that's okay. You guys are my VIP. So we're gonna make it happen regardless if we don't have all of our agents. So thank you. Good afternoon. And let's go ahead and get started with our team meeting. All right, who wants to participate in spearhead our mission vision? Anyone? Before I start picking. Thank you, Carlos.
All right, our mission is to provide agents with a place where they will be empowered, trained, and motivated to experience growth, wealth, and a legacy that allows them to live their best life possible. Our beliefs: when the value of your company align with your own beliefs, you know you found your professional home. And our vision is to achieve amazing professionals and personal development so that KW South Bay remains the agency of choice.
Awesome.
Autographs later.
That's right. I love it. Thank you again, Carlos. Much appreciated, sir. All right, next slide. All right, let's thank our affiliate for providing us with the food, the lunch. That's Mr. Ray from the company Home Inspection. Unfortunately, he's not here, but he did provide us with the. So again, if you do happen to see him, thank him, but more so also the services. He's a home inspector with many years of experience doing it, and this is his company, the company. So again, thank you again, Ray, for lunch. Next slide. All right, KW Clarity, local liaison applications, help foster a recovery folks real estate community and a region. So if you want to apply for this, and I encourage you, please take a photo of it and get some more information on KW Wellness and the importance of clarity. Okay, next slide. All right. So we have a tech moment and a quick video that I'd like to share. So take it away, Natalie.
You know what time it is. Welcome to the KW Command YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon to never miss out on future content. Here we go. You know what time it is.
Okay. So the importance of KW Command, and obviously there's tons and tons of resources and things that you can also look up on YouTube regarding Command. We also have our classes every Thursday with Carlos as well. Take full advantage of everything that we have here, but more so, the beauty of these videos is you can pause or in the near future, go back into the video. If there's something that you want to get more insight to, then obviously the videos definitely help as well. Okay. All right. Next slide. All right, without further ado, most of you know Nina is going to give you some insights on how to generate more money with referrals. So let's give her a round of applause. How are you?
Lazy.
You could if you want, but it's up to you. There you go.
So. Everybody is changing with the changing markets, right? And, you know, there are attorneys, realtors, and all kinds of people that live off of referral fees, right? So what happens is who's shifting what they're doing now or what they did before when the market was really booming? Anybody do any shifting in what they're doing? Or are you doing the same thing as what you were doing before, calling expires and door knocking, which is great, but I think diversifying is really important. You know, when I go, did anyone attend reunion?
Only a handful of people, but
So the thing is here, you can't connect with everyone because there's a lot of people there. But the few people that you do connect with, there are people that go to reunion every year. And they go to a couple of other things, and they talk to the same people over and over again. If you feel that you can get them people in Florida, or you have a connection to some state, I would zoom in on that, right? Or a popular state and transitioning from California to Colorado or Arizona, or what have you. And so those people would be your prime people you would connect with at something like Reunion. And I know agents that I met at Reunion and that I know that we're connected on Facebook and become friendly. They live off referral fees. They have listings, a couple listings a month. They really do. So if anyone has a school they went to or family in other states that has a connection where there's people might, moving over to out of California, because you can get both ends, right? Because California is California, people always come to California. But if you have, who has Facebook here?
I think all of us here.
Facebook is really good. Instagram is good for branding or if you have a product, I find. Facebook is great in the sense where you can hone in on demographic groups that are in there, right? So, if you ever wanted to set up a Facebook page, right? And people will come and see and follow you. And then the more you post in that page, the more traffic you will get, right? Because you want people that know you and people that know you that know them. And it will start to circulate if you post in that page. So if you pick a couple of things you want to focus on, what's California, people are selling in California, the landlord tenant laws are a bit tricky. I want to talk about what options you have. Taxes are high, harder to get insurance for your home, more expensive. Reach out to me, right? Because you're triggering a lot of these pain points for people. People motivate when you hit their pain points, right? So if you do a page, they're really easy to set up. Even I could do it. I'm not techy at all. But people will start to connect with you, right? And the whole idea here is to trigger a sale in California, right? You could also use HomeBot and connect with the lender. You have a lender in the office, sure, be happy to do it. When you connect with the lender, HomeBot is a system where people can see their values of their homes. And it's real time. And some of them are looky-loos, right? But they're thinking about something, because if I had a house and I wasn't looking to sell, and bother. Wasn't something going on in my head, right? There's something going on, right? So there's activity. And on the HomeBot system, it's $25 a month, really inexpensive. But when you connect with a lender on the HomeBot system, it allows you to put a video on there. So when people, because I've done that, and I have to get an assistant actually, because I don't have time to do it. But people will open it up. They will do CMAs on there. And if you have a video, you can talk a little bit about what your focus is. So if you can go to title and pull a farm, and they have email addresses on some of these. So you can go for people that have been in their property for a certain amount of years. You can talk to people who have $5 million plus properties that fall under the mansion tax in LA City, in LA County. It's a county of LA and the city of LA. So Santa Monica, Malibu is not in the city of LA, but it's in the county of LA. So they haven't done that yet. We don't know if they'll reverse what they did, probably not, but it may start to spread to different counties within LA. And so that being said, pick a demographic group that you want to do a farm from. People open it. I talk to people. They open it, they look at it, they will listen to your video. Talk about who you are. I don't go in and saying, do you want to sell your house?
Well, Could we all do this in like a class or something? Like, I think like this would be amazing.
Yeah,
Like, have, like,
sure.
a
I would
class that
love
you
to.
put together for something like this.
I shoot from the hip, but I will try the best to put it together and organize. You want to help me, that's fine, and I'm not techie and
Would
do.
you guys like this in a class setting? Yeah. Okay, cool, let's connect.
Awesome, good idea, Carlos. That's
So
why
what-
they have you in the marketing department.
Yes.
I like it thinking like that. It's good.
He's thinking 100 miles.
That's amazing.
So.
I like it. I like it.
Let's dive deep into the conversation and why you're here is how to capitalize on the opportunities of referrals.
Yeah, so like for instance, I'm licensed in Arizona, but I'm not here just to my own horn, but Arizona, I'm gonna toot it. Couple of things you want to write down. Property taxes are half in Arizona. It's by county, Maricopa County, it's half, okay. The insurance, no issues. They don't have hurricanes, they don't have tornadoes, they do not have earthquakes. Yet. Hopefully not. They have little sandstorms. Unless you find a flood area, but that's been around forever. The insurance companies are not gonna say I'm pulling out of Arizona right now, right? The tenant landlord rules are favorable to the landlords. Okay, doesn't take you 6 months to fix them. I have property there. So I can talk about Phoenix and that'll be one of our conversations, but you'll be surprised. There are Facebook groups moving out of California. I wouldn't necessarily post on there, but I would join them. I would look to see what people are posting. You can private message them. These are regular folks that are moving out of California. So if you babysit it, you will be able to see that what they're thinking and you can private message them. Okay. So you want to trigger sales. Right. That's what you want to do. And then if they're moving out of state or 1031 out of California, Arizona is great. You can catch me on the other end and you get a great referral fee from me. Right, because I go back and forth. And then we'll do more classes on Texas and all that. Has not been as desirable these days because they have the same issues with climate. They have tornadoes.
You know,
So-
what area of Arizona do you spend
In
like focus?
Maricopa and
Maricopa,
Pima County.
okay,
So Maricopa is Scottsdale, Phoenix, Gilbert. You know, we can send out, I can send out emails if you, or something, because I don't know, I can get everybody's emails, but we can do it on the chat, or I don't know, whatever you
you
suggest.
can post it on the whiteboard.
Or I can
Your
put it on the whiteboard, right?
Your
Good
contact
idea.
information, your email,
That's
so
a
if
good
anyone
idea.
has any
Yeah.
clientele that are.
Is
moving
anyone
up to
familiar with
Arizona.
Arizona? Okay, so it's within, you know, we're talking within an hour of either way, right? And I will put it on there. Okay, it's mainstream, people are flocking there like cattle. It's a good time to talk about it. All right, and so if you're gonna get 25-30% referral fees and a sale here, it's not bad, right? You wanna hit people's pain points and you wanna hit your pockets. Because they're thinking about it. They're gonna use someone else if you don't get into it, right? They're gonna think about something else. Another thing, there are people that do junk removal. And there's someone like myself, I have and own a tax firm for over 15 years. Again, I don't like going in, how you want to sell your house? It's intimidating, right? But taxes are people's pain points, right? Nobody wants to deal with them, including myself. But I do. But I don't like to do my own house, right? I don't like to clean my own house. I give it actually to my accountant for 25 years. But you know, the thing is this, so you know, I have a niche in trust and probate, right? Inherited properties. And that's a big deal. The state of California, where we're fortunate, is the most complex inheritance rules in the nation. But what that is, what does that mean for you? That if you learn more about it, people will want to talk to you because people say they know what they're doing and they don't. And, you know, the attorney's great and all that. They're challenging to pierce relationships with, you're really better off going to the people themselves. Facebook is a great place to let everybody know what you're doing. And we'll go more into that in a training course, right? Different steps, different things, and we'll do it in baby steps so that you can follow it, because it's a lot of information that I'm talking about, right? But you say, well, and guess what? I'll give you referral fees for the tax business you give me. I have 5 stars, 35 5-stars. So, that opens a conversation, because if they need those kind of tax returns, there's something going on. Because in the state of California, it's $186,000 to file a probate. Or if they need estate tax returns done, which is trust returns, final returns, someone died, and their account is no longer available, there's someone dying or dead. Right, there's activity. So we'll go more into that, right? And you get a referral fee from me, which is perfectly legal. And, so you go in the back way, you have 2 ways to get business and hone in on people that need your services. Okay. There's many, and when I talked about junk removal, not that you're gonna go in the junk removal business, but when people are hiring junk removal companies, they usually don't do that unless they're moving it out. So connect with a junk removal company that you like. And you can post, if anyone needs a great junk removal company, let me know. If you're moving out of your home and you have lots of things, I know a great person that does junk removal. That is it. You're not advertising, you're giving information. Advertisements, there's tons of advertisements everywhere. People almost go blank when they see it. But if you're in groups and you talk about, you can put a little trash can on it or something, a little emoji, right? I don't talk about, I don't do big ads and all that, because you're marketing. But you're talking about, when someone will message you, I would love a junk company, because you're going to tell them to message you, private message you on Facebook. And they're like, my mom is going to hospice, I would love a junk company. Really? I'm so sorry. Let me, I have 2 companies I use. You want to give me a call, I can call you. And I can see which one would be better for you. That really, both of them are great. Oh, that would be amazing. So you exchange numbers and you call them. And you talk about 2 junk companies that you have. One does like high end or, can move 2 tons, and the other one is a small guy and he fills a half truck up, right? You make up something, whatever. And now you're talking, by the way, I have a focus. Do you need any other help? Do you need attorneys? Do you need tax providers? Don't talk about the house, right? We already know there's a house because they're moving junk out. But what you want to do is get into a vested conversation with them. And people need love at that point. They're losing a loved one. They have their own families. They're exhausted. They're probably fighting. Even if it's not a probate, they're probably still arguing, because when someone dies, it triggers emotions, or someone's sick.
I just wanted to double click on something that you said as far as being the local expert. This is something that we're constantly, talking about, whether it's through Ignite or different process, but being that go-to person, not just for houses, but also, like you said, junk removal, cleaning services, handyman, you name it, being that go-to person for your clients. And advertising on Facebook is an amazing.
Yeah, and just talk about it. You join groups. If you like jogging, join jogging groups, or whatever. People that like dogs and people that do this. If you're a mom, join all the mommy groups. There's always something going on with the moms. They're either getting divorced, or they're moving, or they're fighting, or they're getting more kids, something, right?
I always
And
said I
talking
wish I
about-
had kids that I can go to the PTA stuff and all those things.
Well, you can join parent groups and say you're thinking of having a child.
Absolutely.
There you go.
And I know you're excited about it. Anybody have any questions? Do you want to talk about?
So what are your main referrals sources for you?
Well, I am starting to call, I'm going to be calling people that are pre-probate, which means there's death certificates of people that just passed away.
Just gave me another class.
Yeah.
I don't go and call, I'm not gonna call them and ask them if they want to sell their house.
Yeah.
That is not a pain point. Everything else I talked about is, but not that. That will come once you're in a relationship with them, right? It's like getting married before you date with them, right? Because, think about it, right? Once they're invested in you, you hold their hands a little, they're gonna use you. They're not gonna go looking for someone else. You've been a resource for them. The last thing they want to do is more work. Yeah. And so that is another way. And we'll break it up into different classes. I agree with you. And one will be probate and approaching these people because it's, people get scared of calling people who has a loved one that died. And rightfully so, but you're not gonna ask them if they want to sell their house. You're gonna ask them, what can you help them with? You don't just sell real estate. We have a tax and we're involved in the tax, estate tax and real estate, right? We're gonna talk about that, right? We want to see how we can guide you through the process and what professionals do you need, what help do you need? We work with someone in the office, we have a division. That's what we started it for. So we can tell people we have a division. That's bigger, it's grander than that's what you do, right? It's like if you have a TV show, people think you're it, right? But if you're just an actress bouncing around, it's not as prestigious. It doesn't have a focus point. So there are many ways, and I heard today that the interest rates aren't going to be going up anytime soon. So that's good, whether that's true or not. I hope so that is true. But that's a good thing. The market is people are still active. There's just not a lot of movement, which is good because things will happen. People move, right? But you need to see why they're moving. And all these things are pain points for them. And you're a resource for them. That's where the house comes into play, right? And HomeBot's great. So you can get with him and he could probably set you up on, and he can talk with me a little bit about that, Since he's accessible, it's good because it's in the office, right? We can bounce things off.
I was gonna ask just a quick one, who knows that we have a trust and probate division?
Only a handful.
Right.
We have a trust and probate division, so if you guys are interested in joining or being a part of that, please definitely chat with me and after this meeting. For sure.
Yeah, it's great, but I find that I think I've been more successful, networking happened, network with people and that's all great. But going to the source is always the best. Especially when you live in a big state like we do. There's a lot of activity, a lot of people doing what we do, there's a lot of motion. People don't have time to connect with us like that. It takes a long time sometimes. Right? Even if you give them business, an attorney or whatever, they don't always reciprocate. Because they have 10 other people they've been using, and it's like, how do you work that? But when you're the candy man, you have the candy, all the kids want to play with you. Right? You reverse it. They want to know who you are.
And just to add to that, Mina is also on the KW Hub. So if anyone has specific questions regarding probate, she can definitely guide you and partner up with you. If you don't mind, Mina, if you can put in your contact
Yes,
information on the
absolutely.
whiteboard, that would definitely help. Much appreciated.
Yes,
Thank you
there are
so much
millions
for
of
being.
probate files.
Yeah.
And then we schedule a class.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Mina. All right, let's continue. Who's excited for Fred Howard? Where's Fred at?
Listen, first of all, there's 2 words, Simon. 2 words that I need everybody to help me out with. You ready, Aaron? Whose house is this? Great. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I have absolutely nothing to tell you that you don't already know. That's right. Nothing. But here's the key to this, Simon. No matter whether or not you know it, or whether you don't know it, you have to be so excited that you get everybody in front of you charged up. Do you hear that? It means whether or not you know something or whether or not you have something prepared, you always have to get somebody. Are you guys excited? Yeah. Are you guys excited? Yeah. And I have absolutely nothing to give you that you don't already know. Isn't that amazing? Because people inertly like to have fun, even when you're in business. So the key to making sure you're successful is to make sure even when you don't feel like it, you look like it. That's all I have to say. What can I say? All right, our next guest speaker, Mr. Ben Shu. And his counterpart, come on up, guys, the first American.
It's like 3 photos ago. That's a great one.
You gotta, that's before having
He's got makeup on, I mean.
that's before having a kid.
Yeah.
That was before we had the wrinkles up there, the whites up there.
Nice.
All right, continue.
Yeah.
Tell us, what's new, what's shaking?
Well,
What can you provide us?
Well, first, thank you so much for having us. I
No,
know
thank
it's,
you.
you have your choice in who you have come up here and, we're always grateful for that opportunity.
Love the tie, by the way, man.
Thank you.
Rare to see a tie in the South Bay.
I'm doing it. Friday though, I don't do it on Friday. We're gonna talk about a few things today. Number one, we're gonna do a little title specific stuff because, there's always stuff that you guys need to look out for that can help or hurt your clients. So we're gonna talk about that. Ben's gonna touch on that in a minute. And then we're gonna go over a little bit of marketing, a little bit of back to basics. A lot of what Mia said is awesome and we'll give you some further information on that can kind of help you execute. But first, talk a little bit about Westwood and regional acceptance.
Absolutely. So number one of the big updates on title that we've kind of been noticing is that a lot of title underwriters, a lot of title companies, especially smaller regional title companies, have started only issuing the Alta policy with Western Regional Acceptance. Okay. It is in an effort to try to save money and save the money on claims. So what the difference between your regular Alta homeowners and the Alta with Western Regional Acceptance is that the Western Regional Acceptance has less coverage. Okay, mainly mainly they have they lack in mechanics lien coverage and encroachment coverage, and a lot of title companies can also pick and choose what other coverages they want to omit. Okay, so when you guys get a prelim, a lot of times in the prelim will tell you what they are issuing. So make sure they are issuing if you're on the buy side, make sure they are issuing the Alta homeowners. If it's your listing, make sure you talk to your title rep or the title officers, make sure that they are issuing the Alta homeowners and not the Western Regional Exception.
So to piggyback on top of that, this is just about protecting your buyer and protecting your seller, quite frankly, because if we're leaving off exceptions to coverage, that means that it's another vulnerability for you guys. And I know a lot of you probably think, well, guys, I've never heard of a title, issue where, there was a claim, right? We get them every day. It happens, in a certain percentage, but the reality is that you won't even know what's they're choosing to not cover until you get a policy jacket. So you have to dig deep to get it and really try to make it hard to find. So going with a larger brand, we're not saying you have to use us for a deal. I mean, we would like it. We're always trying to make sure that you and your clients are in the best position, both on selling side and buy side. And we're not using any of those exceptions, nor will we.
Is there, this puts everybody back in position, you're saying this would sell, because we could literally be selling property with mechanics liens on it, and my client's not gonna find out until after he buys this, or the escrow going to disclose that the coverage is not covering mechanics.
So there's a gap. There's a little bit of a gap. Listen, we don't catch everything. right? You know, mechanics liens, the key element to remember about a mechanics lien, it's valid the day the work started, not the day the mechanics lien records against title. So let that sink in a little bit. So that's one of the biggest things that we come across. Number one claim we really do come across is mortgage fraud, fraudulent reconveyances, but mechanics liens are up there because of that time gap. And they have a 90-day window. So let's say you don't pay your painter or even Home Depot for delivering goods to your project. You finish the project, they don't pay it, time happens, you sell it, and then another 60 days goes by, and all of a sudden we see something on the chain of title, and it's a big issue for the new buyer. So
That should send a red flag up, then every property that we sell that's a flip, that should send a red flag up. So.
that's a great.
Next time we should go over to say people that are flipping properties or in the contract with a flip property, you need to listen to these Kyle Reps right here and.
I appreciate that.
And go forward and do the research.
The key question is to ask is when you're in a situation like he just said, is do they have any Western regional exceptions to coverage?
So,
That's what I wanted to find out. Is it an optional coverage or is it just
There's-
company, title company A is only issuing exceptions versus title company B saying, we don't do that?
Here's the coverage, title company, let's just say, I'll use my little title company just because I know they did it. So Progressive Title. They chose back in the previous downturn in 08 and 09, all the way through to basically 2012. They couldn't deal with a claim, so they made sure that they didn't cover certain things.
The problem is, here's our problem, people, after doing it as long as Herman and I've been doing it, is.
You old timers.
Yeah. Blame the realtor for not researching, they're gonna blame the broker, so we need to protect our sort of here. So that's why we should really pay attention to what, so if they're saying this Western regional, whatever it is, and make sure it's not involved in any of your deals.
And we'll read some of those prelims and we'll just tell you what questions to ask. Go ahead.
So as a newbie,
Yeah.
can you take it a step back and what am I to do for my buyer when I'm entering into an agreement? Like, when you're saying title, does that mean I should be reaching out to?
So when you get the prelim, a lot of the prelims will say, and it's hard to find because different companies put it in different areas, but most prelims will tell you what kind of policy they are planning on issuing. And if you don't find that, you're always welcome to email that to us. We'll take a look for you and let you know. If it's not there, then you definitely want to double check with the title officer or the title rep to make sure that they are issuing a Alta homeowners and not the Alta with the Western Regional exceptions. And yeah, a lot of the companies are defaulting to the Western Regional and the Alta homeowners has to be by request. I'm not sure if any of them are not issuing the Alta homeowner period, so that's something you want to find out and make sure that you are.
So the title officer will be on the front of every prelim. You'll have a title rep, right? And it'll be XYZ title rep, and you'll be like, hey, your name's not on the report. It's always the title officer, their back office team that works hand in hand with escrow and explains everything and works through it with them.
The reason why these gentlemen are here, people, is that if you're a newbie and new to real estate, on every transaction that you have, make it a point to check the preliminary title report. And if you don't understand it, have your escrow explain to you, or even call your title rep to explain to you. Because I am telling you, go through the title reports. Also, plotted easements are big. If you plot your easements out, your buyer's gonna know that you're kind of experienced, and he already has the plotted easements available to him. So plotted easements are always a good thing when you're selling. Look for these things. You're the realtor, you're responsible. We take a lot, our license is going to be challenged in the future by all these professional accolades that we need to do. That's why we have an ABID and we have all these things that we're responsible for. So you're responsible for checking that prelim. So always check the prelim after you make a sale. Thanks.
So or do I automatically ask for that now to homeowners?
Well, we're default, we are still issuing also homeowners by default. I mean, I can't speak for every other title company because we're not sure what their policies are, but probably a good idea.
So if you have like what Christina was talking, you have a buyer's agent and then you put the offer, the seller, choose the title company. And then you realize later, oh, it has a Western thing. So obviously you have to either counter, well, you're not gonna be able to counter that, but then you have to ask them, well, I want that policy, I want another policy, otherwise we're gonna cancel the deal.
And they'll give it to you. They won't fight you.
They're not gonna argue with it.
No, if you tell them you want it, they'll give it.
It's just a way of saving some money and we try to put it through on the side or putting it back in the prelim is just a way to reduce some rates for the title.
If you find out after escrow is open and prior to the expiration of your investigation contingency, you could actually then put it in the request for repair for it to take place if you end up finding out that another company has the exception and you don't want that to happen.
That's a good way to solve
We
it.
got a good 17 days to cover our butts, people, so. we can cover it.
So, all right, so on the marketing front, real quick on the marketing front, we sort of keep you guys aware of a few things that are out there. Number one, right now you have a lot of people pulling back on their marketing budgets. So what does that mean? That means that if you have an area that you want to break into, now is the time. A lot of times when you have a slower market, everybody looks for the quick fix to get a deal. Oh, I'm gonna target death, divorce, the shiny object stuff, any of that stuff. The reality is to build a business for a long term, you have to consistently hit the same group of people with the appropriate amount of turnover in that area. And that is how you kind of build a mainstay of your business. If you create a true ecosystem for your business, you have revenue streams. Revenue stream number one is some type of niche category farm. It could be a condo complex with a high turnover. It could be the referral networks that Mina was talking about. But that income can be created. Then once you have that income, it can support the rest of your business's marketing budget. The other two parts of your marketing budget, which should be a geographical farm and your sphere, more importantly than anything else. So that way you have a self-sustaining ecosystem and you're not, you have everything kind of lined up. So we wanted you to just kind of know, try to, at this time, a lot of shiny objects are coming at you from all different angles, title reps, other businesses, depending on, social media campaigns and all types of stuff. We try to focus on the core principles of your business. And we have a lot of strategies that can help you with that. Last thing, social media. If you wanted to take any type of list and target a specific group of people, you can do that. So the way that works is it's an Excel file. It's coded for Facebook's business page, and then you can and Instagram, and it can target a specific set of people. And it's only 1 to 2 cents per person. So when Mina was talking about targeting different groups, that is a really key way for you to do that. So if you ever wanted to strategize, Ben and I are always here.
That's not.
All right.
Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you. I think this is the longest I've seen Ben up on stage. Usually it's pretty quick, 2 minutes, 3 minutes flat, but
Makeup held out too.
I know, it's great information. Thank you very much. All right, let's continue. Let's have Fernando Diaz up here real quick and giving us some updates on the lending aspect of it. So Fernando. Welcome back. Tell us, where have you been for 4 weeks? 4 weeks?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, we can talk about, instead of talking about rates, we're talking about vacation. Yeah, my wife put together this trip, was awesome, I'll start off with how it started. It was a trip of a lifetime. We get on the plane. I've never had this happen, and actually, I don't think the crew will ever forget this, but a passenger passed away on the plane. Over the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. I immediately went to my screen. And I go, I don't know, we're 3.5 hours from Heathrow. We are, what I can do. Now, I'm not an attorney or anything, but we were delayed on takeoff by 15 minutes. And I do remember the captain coming on and saying, hey guys, we need medical clearance for somebody before we take off. Or I need it, or they need it. And so I don't know what happened, but yeah. And I didn't really see anything because it was back in another section, so I don't know, but yeah, it definitely, one of those things, and how many people in their lifetime, even the crew, they've never,
So you guys came back?
no, we kept going. He made the decision to keep going. They were on satellite phones with, whoever it is, doctors, hospitals, and whoever their people are in, it's Virgin Atlantic, so through London. But yeah, that's how it started, so it wasn't a very good start, obviously. But I will tell you, I'll tell you one thing, tourism is back. It is crazy how busy these, like London, Paris, Barcelona, we went to Monaco for the Grand Prix, Lake Como, Florence, Tuscany, Rome. I mean, it is, you would not think that there's any kind of, issue out there at all. Everybody's just flying and booming. I will tell you that if you never ever get a chance to go to Monaco on race weekend and see that and experience it, that is crazy. I don't care how wealthy you are, you ain't that wealthy. When you get there. Okay, I thought they were gonna hand you a broom when they got, right? Well, yeah, I am the small, small potato on that ship, I'll tell you that right now. But no, outside of that, guys, as you guys know, the Federal Reserve just made an announcement about an hour or two ago that they are pausing for the first time rate increases. But don't get excited because they're gonna hammer it. They're only gonna take a pause as a study. They're specifically concentrating on right now. Don't read into July or anything they said, but they've already, Powell pretty much said that there's at least 2 raises coming between now and the end of the year. So therefore, the markets, Chris and I were just talking about it, there has been no positive movement whatsoever. It may go negative too, only because they know that they're gonna come with more raises now. They don't feel, this is just a temporary pause. Another thing though, guys, if you remember, when this happened, since I've been back Friday, I've been talking to a lot of my agents and, they're kind of feeling what's going on out there. But I see it as, this is an opportunity for your buyers more so than ever. A lot of people forget, if you remember the last quarter of last year, October, November, December, okay, when the rates ran back up into the 7s at that time, okay, and you saw a lot of back on markets, kind of like you're seeing a little bit now, but you saw a lot of, these changes in the market. But I recall many of my clients getting their offers accepted 20, 40, 50,000 under the asking price at that time, with $15,000 to $20,000 back from concessions for, rate buy downs and or closing costs and whatever. All right. Then all of a sudden January, about mid-January hit, late January, and boom, rates dipped down into the 5s, high 5s, low 6s. And these guys, I had 2 clients immediately refinance down into the high 5s, low 6s from, let's say 7, 7.25. But guess what? If you look at the way they timed it, if they would have tried to buy in, let's say, February of 23, when everything was chaotic, they would have never gotten that price on that house they did. They would have been fighting with 20 people and forget the $20,000 credit. They would have never got that. They got all that, took a higher rate, took a risk, and bam, rates within, let's say, in their case, 60, 90 days dropped like a whole percentage point, and they immediately refinanced and took advantage of it. But they're high risk, sometimes big reward, right? Low risk, not a big, they went for the risk and it paid off in their case. So I will tell you that, we don't know now. I would say I don't see any kind of massive rate improvement. You see fluctuations as you see on a week to week, month to month basis, but with this news, I think things are going to fairly stay in the window that they're at. Keep in mind the window moves a little.
Where are they at?
High 6s to low 7s, depending on all parameters. FHA's government loans are priced more favorable. And I will tell you guys, and I know I did that seminar, in the last, while I was gone, 2 of our clients were going, 20% down, right? Everybody thinks it's gotta be 20% down conventional. With the rates the way they were, we kicked them back down an FHA sample with 10% down, saving them anywhere between $100,000 to $120,000 of their money. And the rate was so much better, even with that bit of MI, because remember, FHA lowered the monthly mortgage insurance costs, guys. But when they factored in leaving 100,000 plus in their savings account, they would have had to leave their, their bank account. It really impacted them in a positive way. They're like, hey, you know what? I can deal with a $300 a month higher payment. I don't care about that, as long as I can keep that extra money in the bank for a cushion, for a rainy day, right? So that's another way to actually, give your client those options, because sometimes that turns out to be pretty favorable, because the payment may not be that different and they're saving a lot of money. So I'll leave you with that. The last thing there also is our annual kayaking and paddling event that we do. I think we're going to try to pick one of the last couple of Fridays in July. So there'll be more announcements coming on that, but that's always a fun one. So that is that. Really, for what's going on currently. Any questions? Anything? Nobody? All right, that's it.
All right, Fernando, thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right. Most of you in the past have seen that I always like to spotlight. So we did Gary Nick, but today I want to spotlight Jen Sapola. So let's give Jen Sapola a round of applause. Gwen, you're on the hot seat, my
I
friend.
am on the hot seat. Well, I did go on vacation, that was probably exciting with Fernando, though. I did
So tell us where you were.
4 days in Paris and then went to Rome and did all of Greece, Santorini and a couple islands, then ended up in my hometown Sicily. So we're kind of dying to get to see there. And learned a lot about the history of Sicily too. I never knew there was gladiators there before in Santa Cruz. So it was a pretty interesting trip and it was good to get some time off. But back to work, we always gotta get back to work. And so
Take a seat,
a
relax,
couple
chill.
of things that Simon asked me to do. Listen, we all have our teams. We all have our ways of generating leads. This is all about lead generation.
So-
keep successful.
Before you continue, just want to give you some insight, and the reason that I have Jim up here is, year to date, and this is an estimate, this is a little dated, but he's roughly around 22 to 23 million in value. These are closed sales since January to June. Okay,
Don't tell the IRS. I'll get everybody's money.
roughly about 16 units, give or take.
16 years, yeah, most of my sales are in excess of 2 million, so.
16 units year to date, about 22, 23 million in value, halfway point in the year of 2023. And the reason, yeah.
I have a good team, Rocio working on is heading up my team, even though she works for KWP, but her and her two assistants, Michelle Duval and Brandy Vargas, has been really helping holding open houses. Excuse me. It's all consistency, people. It's using your team to make you money. You have these great title reps over here. They can target certain areas. You have your lenders that you should team up with. Use all these assets that you have to help you with lead generation. You could target certain people. That's what we're doing. We're working on income property. We try to target the income people. You could go by age group. You could search many different ways to do lead generation. Do something. Open houses have always been my success point. Only because I'm a salesman, not a realtor. So I've always been a salesman. So if you're good at sales, and I used to sell 85% of my on my listings when I was with Remax, 80% of my own. So I set lots of open houses, and I sat there when it rained, when it did everything, when everybody said it's inclement weather. No, the worse it is, the more I want to sit it, because anybody walks in when it's pouring rain, guess what? They're not saying, hey, let me look around. They're saying, they're asking questions about what's going on. So you as the people that you work with, we have a lot of good access. We have a lot of good people in this company. We have Chris Rivera, we have Fernando, we have all these title reps. Use them, ask them questions, make your own team. You don't get ahead by doing this yourself. Nobody gets to be number one and say, I did it by myself. It's your title rep, it's your escrow companies. I've had a lot of success with Maria Samoyan. She's closed about $6-7 million of my deals. And it's very convenient because I can trip when I walk in the door and fall into her office. So plus we have.
She can't hide, right?
We have a great broker. He's always available. I've seen companies that brokers aren't accessible. You can't ask them questions. You can't be scared or be helpful. This guy's always here 24/7. And you could call him up. Maybe not 24/7, but anyway, listen, open houses has been one of our greatest assets. Just told open house. Matter of fact, we just put another one in escrow for $950,000 on Walnut. And she, Michelle Vidal said open house and could, actually procure a buyer, and she's in escrow right now.
So when agents are saying low inventory, not enough clients out there, what's your take on that, man? What do you say with people?
You know, Rocio is amazing. I don't know how she gets her buyers, but Rocio will go to the end of the earth to make a sale. I mean, she did a first time buyers seminar the other day. She has sales in San Bernardino. I mean, 2 hours away from here. I asked her, I said, how do you do it for 500,000 or 600,000? You know, she just takes her buyers and she's a headhunter, and you know, you have to be into your business, you know, it's all about racking and stacking. That's what we always call it in the old days, racking and stacking your sales. Always rack and stack your sales. Don't stop when it's October, November, December. Keep on going, because let me tell you, there's always a rainy day. And when your escrows run out and you're looking at yourself in the mirror and say, what do I do next? Or where's my next dollar coming from? That could be a problem. So if you keep on going, keep on lead generating, do whatever you have to do. There's thousands of ways you could lead generate. You know, you could do it off the title companies, you could do it off the lenders, you could do it off open houses. But open houses has been my success. And I talk to people, when I get a listing, I canvass the whole neighborhood. Or looking for other listings or other potential buyers. The worst thing you do is take a listing and have a next door neighbor buy it. Because look who looks like the idiot. Because if you don't, you look like an idiot. If you haven't knocked on the guy next doors and he's just bought a $2 million piece of property that you just looked at 2 hours ago, that's really bad. So you have to figure this out. You know, the hungrier you are, the better you are. So if you're always hungry, there's always an opportunity. You'll always open another door. But anyway,
Awesome.
thank you for choosing me to be the agent of the month here. But you know what? I'll tell you, I've been doing this a long time and I've been number one lots of times, but forget number one. You're only as good as your last sale.
That's right.
Tell them. Don't walk around with your head high. You walk around and try to find another deal. Because at any time, you could be at the bottom and instead of being at the top. You just be grateful for where you are and use your connections and all your abilities and follow up on all your leads. The main thing is follow up. If I followed up on 25% more of my leads that I get in, I probably do 100 times better. But we all have our weaknesses and our things about us that we or quirks that we have about selling. So. But follow-up is is the number one important thing. So, but anyway, good luck to everybody. I hope everybody has a rocking year. And please pass me out, right? Because it inspires me to do better.
That's right.
Thank you.
I don't like to brag, but I'm gonna brag a little bit. I don't know if you guys know this. We just upgraded the Rolex watch. I put both in
I'm fading the woman now.
Thank you, Jam. All right. Just a quick broker update. So next, do I have shared capabilities? Okay, continue. Let me check here. You have all these windows expired and I don't have my glasses, so I apologize. Okay, just a quick update. The new updates to ZIP forms. These are all the new contracts and forms that are being updated. The ABA form, the additional broker acknowledgement, the already built subdivision purchase agreement, the assignment of agreement. These are all gonna be updated if they're not already on zip forms. Okay, these are your contracts. Animal terms and conditions addendum. Bed bugs, buyer counteroffer, buyer homeowners association advisory. Notice regarding background investigation. Surprisingly, they're taking out the business listing agreement. The listing business agreement. So, yeah. Buyer representation and broker compensation. If you want a copy of this, because it does have a little bit of information and illustration, send me an email. I'll be more than happy to send this over to you. But again, this is all straight from the California Association of Realtor Code. You can download it. Just go to the search menu, new car forms, and boom, it'll populate. And all of this stuff is also redlined with any deletions or added language into these specific forms as well. Cancellation of contract, deposit of cancellation of escrow, condos, cash for keys, commercial residential income and vacant land listing agreement, cancellation of lease rent, cancellation of listings. So language added to clarify that any of the number of paragraphs may be checked. So again, it gives you a little bit of information. I'm not going to go into much for the sake of time. Contingency removal, discontinue, and now it's going to be replaced by the CRB, which stands for
Broker,
no
no,
buyer,
buyer.
and CRS stands for
Okay,
contingency. So I guess there's a lot of confusion and who's taking what, so they made it easy. So
Okay.
contingency for buyer, contingency for seller. Okay. Notice of change of terms and tenancy, disclosure advisory. The list goes on and on and on and on again. You know, so I'm not going to go for the sake of time. But if you do want a copy of this, please send me an email. I'll be more than happy to give you this information. Okay. Any questions? No questions? Okay, cool. All right, that's my update. So let's continue just with a couple of updates and we should conclude our meeting. All of a sudden got a little quiet in here. Come on. I know, right? Just a quick reminder, Monday, June 19th, the office. Well, let me take it back. The office will be open for agents, but the staff will not be here. Okay, so it's a Juneteenth day. So that's this coming Monday, okay? But I'm accessible. I will be here if you need me on Monday, so but my staff will not be here. Okay, next slide. All right. I'm excited about this. Brandon, you want to just give us a little tidbit on this?
A little teaser.
Little teaser. So tell us.
We had an opportunity with our investor group to be one of the potential buyers for the original home that Ike and Tina Turner purchased in 1972 together. And we ended up getting the home and realized during escrow that there was a bigger story here. Primarily because Ike and Tina sold the home in 1979 to another buyer who left the home in this original condition. So when we bought the property in 2018, it was like a museum, all custom furniture, just, if you ever saw the movie, it was just really crazy, but it turned into more of a journey in the sense that we got to grow culturally. We experienced just so many different highs and lows, but the house was a little haunted.
Really?
And so we. But it's just, I still get goosebumps, just, you gotta come hear the story, it's absolutely amazing. And it's definitely something that helped me grow as a man and a person. And
Beautiful.
I think everybody should hear it.
Awesome. All right. This coming June 27th, Tuesday here in the training room. So I want to see all of you here to hear both Brandon and Tammy talk about this amazing story with Tina Turner. Most of you know, she tragically passed away recently. So Awesome, thank you. All right, next slide. All right, contracts Q&A. Come up, Steve.
All right. So you're on there. I'm on there. All right, we're gonna try it again, folks. Who is final about the contract? Every Wednesday, we are having a contract Q&A session. It's not just for our office, it's also our sister offices, but it's also open to any other agent out there. I'm a big believer, the more educated we as a profession can be, the better we all are, okay? And it is really funny how much information, inexperienced and even semi-experienced agents are of not having confidence in the contents of what's in there on that contract. So 7 o'clock every Wednesday from 7 to 8, you have to come with your questions. All right, I'm not presenting anything other than answering questions regarding the contract. All right, so there should be a link on our KW shares. All right, if not, here's the meeting ID and passcode, whatever all that means. I've never actually manually ended up inputting. And so any questions for me with regards to this session?
Every Wednesday, 7 p.m. 7 a.m.
7 p.m. So at that point, you don't even have to have your camera on, even though I suggest you do have your camera on, because you will be more engaged with your camera on than with your camera off. And when we're dealing with contracts, you need to be engaged in order to really learn. So although you don't have to, I highly, highly advise your camera be on.
You can still hide your drink with your camera on.
That's it. If they want to drink, you get them, whatever they want. So terrific. I look forward to being able to see you. Come with your questions. Thanks, Mike.
All right, let's next slide. Quick reminder, June 21st, 10 to 5, dominate the listing and secure your real estate with Dan and Liz. This is going to be in CO Beach. Please, if you're interested in attending, please RSVP now. It's only $35. It's not $25. It's $35 to see these two amazing leaders spearheaded, and it's going to be live and in person. Okay. Next slide. Just a couple of KW communities and person events, KW commercial, KW land, and KW luxury. So Austin, Texas, and Phoenix, Arizona. Next slide. Okay, anyone have any coming soons, needs and wants?
I have a coming soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. In Carson, the city of Carson, we have 886 East Kramer Drive. And it's a 4-3 asking 875.
Let's get this
Door knocking.
door knocking.
Here's the most, yes.
Wow. Yeah, how funny. You fear the most, but ultimately got an opportunity. So amazing. Congratulations. Super happy for you. Anyone else? Okay, well, I believe that concludes our team meeting. So thank you all. Appreciate you all. Thank you. Have a phenomenal afternoon.